Hello, I am Sean Kersey, and this is my Drawing to Learn video for Biology 310. So here is a sketch of a muscle contraction. So the first thing that happens in muscle contraction is that a signal is sent from the to the neuromuscular junction. So as you can see up here, I have a motor neuron. Then I have a muscle cell here, and this is the plasma membrane of a muscle cell up closer. I'll explain what that is in a sec. But what then happens is that, as you see here, acetylcholine will go from the motor neuron to the muscle cell, or to be specific, it'll go to the a receptor on the ligand-gated ion channel. You'll see over here, the ligand-gated ion channel is initially closed, so there's sodium there, potassium there, but they can't flow through the channel. But then acetylcholine will go into the receptors, sodium can flow into the cytosol of the muscle cell, potassium can flow out. And that also allows the voltage channel to then open up. So then more sodium can come into the cell. Now all of this creates what's called a membrane potential. So there's a membrane potential then in the cytosol with all these sodium ions, and that travels actually to the sarcoplasmic reticulum. And what that does is it actually drives the flow of calcium ions. They'll go from outside, from like the cytosol of the muscle cell, and they'll go into the sarcoplasmic reticulum, and they go in by via the calcium channel. And what that allows the muscle cell to do is contract. That's what causes contraction. As you can see, the calcium ions are in orange. And I have sodium ions in green, potassium ions in brown. I meant to say that earlier, but the acetylcholine's in blue. Then what happens is that the muscle relaxes, but what happens in order for the muscle to relax is that calcium ions will go from the sarcoplasmic reticulum back out to the cytosol through this ATP-powered pump. So what that kind of tells you is that contraction and relaxation, or just the process of muscle contraction, requires ATP. So yeah, the calcium will go from the sarcoplasmic reticulum back into the cytosol, muscle cell relaxes, and this can happen over and over again, but you need that original signal at the neuromuscular junction, and you need the motor neuron. And there are definitely things that can go wrong, like if the calcium channel doesn't work properly, calcium ions won't flow in, so contraction won't happen. If the ATP-powered pump doesn't happen, the muscle cell will kind of stay in this contracted state. And obviously, if none of this earlier stuff works, like if the ligand-gated ion channel doesn't work, then the muscle cell will also stay in a permanently relaxed state, because that's kind of like the default state. So yeah, or if the voltage channel doesn't work, yet again, muscle will stay in a relaxed state, because the sodium ions can't flow through, and that means that the membrane potential can't be created. So this is kind of a step-by-step process. One thing leads to another. Yeah.